Hello, welcome back to my Tour de Vie daily coverage. We're now on day 7, a week's gone already, and let's head over to track leaders and take a little look and see what's been going on. So, as I discussed yesterday, the head of the race is heading into the Great Basin, which is it's basically a high altitude desert in the middle of Wyoming, and it looks like Justinus is still in the lead. Nothing much has changed at the moment. We're in a kind of a more of a settled stage of the race. The conditions seem to be improving. I mean, they're not good. It's Tour de Vie. There's always something to try and mess you up. But yeah, Justinus looks like he's got a steady about 30 to 40 mile lead. That can change a little bit with various stops. But it seems to be stabilising at the moment, and it looks like Ulrich, bear in mind this is 12:25, so just past midnight. Ulrich stopped in Wamsutter. That's basically the town. Well, I say town. It's there's a gas station. It's a very small town. There's a lot of oil rigs in the area, so basically that's a service town off the highway. So there is some accommodation there. It looks like Ulrich has stopped for the night. Justinus is pushing on. I wonder if he's going to try and get through the basin and reach Brush Mountain Lodge, which is just over the border past Savory in Colorado. So yeah, we'll see how that works out. And they are both still ahead of Michael's record as it stands. So yeah, it's a fast time for sure. Lawrence Temdam, he's still in third position. Obviously, he had his tyre issues yesterday and had to go off course, so he's dropped back off the leaders. But he's still in a solid, comfortable third position at the moment. And seems like he's sleeping well. I imagine he is trying to push to Atlantic City tonight. Probably, an hour and a half, 2 hours away from there at the moment. And again, have a good sleep. And then Thomas Fabian, he's settled into fourth. And then Megan Hakkinen, she's still leading the women's race. Cade Reschenberger, he's now caught up with her. But again, at this time of night, you just don't quite know what's going to happen. So I'm sure the sleep will sort of balance things out a little bit, and we'll see if Megan can get ahead. At one point yesterday, she was actually ahead of Thomas into fourth position. So she's doing incredibly well. And she's got a commanding lead now. She's ahead of Lael's record dot. And Anna Jaeger is still in second position, and she looks like, where is she, camping up for the night, or still pushing on still. But that's quite a substantial gap now. Union Pass, and it looks like Togwati. No, she's over Togwati. So basically Megan's got Union Pass between her and Megan, which is that's a solid gap. So she's looking strong at the moment. Now, before I go any further, you know by now, Redshift, they're supporting my coverage, so thanks very much to those guys. They do a range of cool products. I'm a big fan of their suspension seat posts. I use it on my bike. I've used it for things like Atlas, the Cursed Race, Silk Road. So they've got a range of different shock posts for different price points and levels of adjustability, and there's kind of slightly longer travel ones, slightly shorter travel ones. All the information is up there, so yeah, check those out on their website, and there's a little discount in the description if you're interested in one of those. So yeah, big shout out to Redshift again, and thanks for the support. And let's have a little look now at where our the head of the race are and what's coming up over the next couple of days. So back over to Ryby GPS, and as you can see, Wamsutter is the kind of small town in the middle of the basin. Let me go into the Google map layer and see if there's some Google images. I can give you a bit of an example of what it's like, and maybe find the gas station. The gas station's pretty good, and there we go. That's basically it. There's not an awful lot going on. As I said, I think it's basically a service town for all the workers on the gas rigs out in the basin, and the gas station there is basically the resupply in the middle of the basin. So you need to really carry a lot of food to get through, and if the weather turns and you get stuck, there we go, loves. Been there myself and falling in there. That's kind of like an oasis in the middle of the in the middle of the basin. So riders will be very happy to make it to there, and there is some accommodation in the town. Even got a skate park if they wanted to do some jumps halfway through the divide. So yeah, it looks like Uber is there tonight, and Justinus is heading out sort of the southern end of the basin. Now I've got some video from when I was passing through in 2019, so just give you a bit of an idea of what they're dealing with. So this is the northern side of the basin. Excuse my pretty shaky videoing. And as you can see, it's there's not much out there. Now, I had really good conditions in 2019. There's a really strong tailwind, and it wasn't too hot, and I got through in 24 hours or so. And yeah, you need to carry plenty of water. And yeah, that's it. That's the view for the whole day, basically. Worst case scenario, you're going to get killer headwind. Best case scenario, you're going to get tailwind. And if it rains, you're basically stuck in the mud, as we saw last year in the front of the race when Ulrich and Justinus and Jens all got stuck in a porta potty. Basically, you just can't move. So we'll check out the weather shortly, and let's just hope that it doesn't get too bad for them. Once you get past Wamsutter, you're on the southern way out of the basin. It gets a little bit greener. It doesn't feel quite so much like a desert, but you know, it's still similar terrain. The road is a little bit better. I think there must be some more kind of rigs in the south, so the roads, you know, you could drive a truck down if you wanted to. And they're a bit more established. It felt like a bit faster. And then there's a small series of hills as you basically climb into Colorado. You cross the highway here. I think I camped up here at some point in 2019. So yeah, they're quite steep. It's a series of rollers. They're the kind of ones you don't really want to be riding. You know, it looks like nothing on a profile. But when you're riding a bike and you're trying to get up and over these rollers, they are quite steep and they're quite annoying. But yeah, that's another. But once you get through there, that's another boundary, another border crossed, and you're into Colorado. Now, I've got a couple of voice updates from both Ulrich and Justinus, so I'll run those now. So this is Ulrich's update. He's a bit of a day behind. He doesn't give too much away, old Ulrich, so it's always a day behind. But this is him going through Togwati and Union Pass on the way into the basin yesterday.
Hello again, day 6 on Tour Divide 2024. Yesterday was actually my birthday, so having the chance to celebrating birthday on Tour Divide is always special, because you get the chance to do something on your birthday that you like very much. For example, riding the bike all day. So I did. Started in Idaho Springs in the morning, headed towards the first real mountains, Togwati Pass and Union Pass, both above 3,000 meters of elevation, both free of snow actually. Last year there was a small patch of like 100 meters of snowpack on Union Pass. This year the weather was really good again and was free of snow, so it was fun. In the evening I had a small incident heading down from Union Pass. Nothing serious, but I got stuck in kind of a mud hole and fell off the bike into the mud hole. So I was completely wet and soaked in mud. It wasn't that fun because it made the rest of the evening a bit more cold, but was nothing to worry about. Well, and today is gonna be the big day, because we're heading to the great fucking basin. Yeah, let's see what waits up there and where we might end up, whether in Wamsutter or in Brush Mountain Lodge, or simply in a porta potty in the middle of the fucking basin.
So that was Ulrich. Sounds like he's in good spirits still. So that was yesterday morning. Well, actually this morning, if you're in the US right now. Heading into the basin, looks like he was, well, potentially aiming for Brush Mountain Lodge or Wamsutter. Looks like he settled for Wamsutter. I suspect that is due to the wind, as we'll find out in a second. Let's have a look at the wind layer. There's a bit of a killer headwind at the moment. The first half of the basin Looks like it was a crosswind, but it really looks like it's a block headwind now dragging out. So it looks like Ulrich has probably settled in for the night and hoping the wind will die down a little bit in the morning. Whereas Justinus, I suspect, is probably doing what Ulrich said and trying to push on to Brush Mountain Lodge. But I've got actually some updates from Justinus, so let's have a little listen to see what he said. So this would have been an update of a similar time yesterday morning or this morning from Ulrich, from Justinus. So let's hear what he said.
Yeah, hello from Great Basin. I just left the highway and got on the second part. Yeah, it's windy. Northbounders are very happy, so that you can imagine. Southbounders aren't. So cross headwind, yeah. And sun's finally getting a bit out, so I'm no longer riding in rain pants all the time. So that's good. Definitely haven't been warm until now, but I think it's gonna start changing now. Other than that, life's good. Got to visit a new place, which is called The Place. My God, man. Those guys are amazing.
So I think The Place is a little cafe. I'm pretty sure it's Atlantic City, who look out for the Tour Divide riders and really look after them. So big shout out to those guys. And Justinus gives you the seal of approval. So he was sounding pretty good spirits. So that would have been as he was just approaching Atlantic City. Where are we? Atlantic City up here, yeah. So there's a bit of highway. So I think he sent me the message while he was on this section of highway here before, or maybe it was just after Atlantic City, not quite sure. And then he sent me a message later on. Let's see how the tone has changed a little bit after a day in the basin.
Fucking headwind, man. All the way out of the basin. And now, still heading south. And the wind is south. Oh my God, it's like 15 meters per second. Completely rock headwind.
So yeah, it's amazing what a day in the basin can do to your mood, and sounds like Justinus is, well, and probably Uber as well, again smashed by that headwind, and sounds tough out there. You can just hear by the sound on the message there. So let's see how that develops. Again, I mentioned, and Ulrich mentioned, obviously he got stuck in the porta potty in the middle of the basin last year. I've checked the weather, and it looks like there's not anything substantial over the next kind of like half day, maybe a few showers. I suspect it needs more than a shower to really make it an absolute mud pit, because it kind of can get wet quick and dry quick. But we'll keep an eye on it for the leaders, for the riders further back. Obviously, no one wishes death mud upon anyone, but it is good entertainment for dot watching at least. So we'll see how that pans out over the next day or so. So definitely something to keep an eye on there. I must as well actually I've been quite bad at I've not really covered the single speed race, but we've actually got a really quite exciting race in single speeders. So Alex Kowalski, I've shown a couple of his Instagrams. Johnny Price and Zachary Del Greco, they've all been to and fro, and you can see they're all within Johnny and Zach are within like a mile of each other. Alex at some point yesterday was the same. They're all basically riding together, or within a couple of miles. So we've got a real hot race on our hands. They are just entering the Teton Valley by the looks of it. So they're going to take on the first big passes. Togwati and Union, that's where it gets over 3,000 meters, as we said. Sounds like it's good. According to obviously Ulrich's voice message you just heard, it sounds like there's not much snow there, and actually it's pretty good conditions. So hopefully they can get through without any weather catching them. But yeah, I'll try and touch on the single speed race a bit more, because it's kind of cool to see the single speeders out there, and they're doing a great job as well. What else do I need to tell you? Let's have a little look at Megan's Instagram. She did a nice little update as well. So let's see what she says.
Tour Divide Day 7. I'm stopped at Lava Mountain Lodge. They had an all-you-can-eat thing for like $10, so I'm trying to get some real food. Everyone here is super friendly. I'm starting to feel a bit out of breath with the elevation, so I'm kind of focusing on being consistent and taking a few more breaks. Didn't get to the campground until pretty late last night, but I slept really well. Glad I brought the warmer sleep kit. And today, just trying to ride really steady and not push it too hard, just because it's really a high, man. The last pass was almost 3,000 meters, so just try to, you know, keep keep moving forward without putting my body under too much stress, if that is possible.
So yeah, that's Megan. Obviously, she's referring to Togwati and Union, 3,000 meter passes, and yeah, they're gonna smash you. If you're not used to the altitude, it's gonna get you, and you know, shortness of breath and things, and they're not going much lower than 2,000 now for the rest of the event. So that's the kind of another factor you need to contend with. But it looks beautiful, and some of the photos that Megan put out, I think that's the Tetons. That's where she slept. She said she's got a warmer sleep kit. You know, some riders are taking barely anything, like our 2 leaders overall. Megan's opted for a slightly heavier sleep kit, and yeah, it pays off on nights like this when you get stuck out, and yeah, it looks pretty cool. And that is descending Togwati, I believe. Pretty spectacular. And heading down to the road to Lava Mountain Lodge. So yeah, that's Megan. Alex, as I said, currently pushing ahead in the single speed race. And yeah, this looks like it's after Lima. It's cattle country, and yeah, both times I've been through, I've been basically stuck in a traffic jam behind the cows. So yeah, pretty cool. Lovely sunsets out there, and yeah, this was, as I mentioned yesterday, they're all basically together. So pretty cool to see. And finally, funny photo, but Brush Mountain Lodge. There's been a few comments and stuff, people saying that they thought Brush Mountain Lodge was shut for this year's Tour Divide. Well, it was. There was an announcement before the race that that Kirsten wouldn't be able to open for various reasons. However, they're up, back and rolling, so all the racers will be able to stop at Brush Mountain Lodge and get resupply, which is great news, because it's just one of the key places of the Tour Divide, and it's something that everyone very much looks forward to. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I'll be back again in the morning with another update, and yeah, we'll see how the weather pans out in the basin, and yeah, we should by tomorrow have our 2 leaders into Colorado. So thanks for watching. Give us a little subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll catch you tomorrow.